Hello friends, welcome to Learner's Planet. Friends, you might have observed that the level of questions based on data interpretation is actually increasing in various competitive exams, right? More and more difficult questions are being asked in all competitive exams. So I thought of taking up a few more sessions on data interpretation. In these sessions, I'll be discussing advanced level problems. So this is the first session in the series. And yes, you should attend all the basic sessions. Like before you come for advanced level sessions, you should be clear with the approximation techniques, basic percentage session you should attend. So you'll feel comfortable in these sessions. Okay. And yeah, once again, you just get ready with your paper and pen and start solving the problems right with me, right? So this way we'll be learning the new things and will be able to practice a lot. Okay, so let's begin the session. Let's take the first set of questions. The following questions are not is but are based on the pie chart provided. There are some 4 or 5 questions in this set. Loss incurred by 6 public sector companies in 98-99, all values in crores. So here some 1 2 3 4 5 6 6 companies data have been given. Let's take the first question. Which company showed maximum deviation from average loss? Now that's very simple question to answer. The losses incurred by each company is given over here, right? The loss incurred by each company is given over here. FEL, PEL, PAIL and all that, right? Now which company showed maximum deviation from average loss? Now you just can get an idea the average of all this data. See, most of the data are below 450, right? 950 is very huge. 450 and all these like a good number of data are in this range, right? So the average will not be more than, I think, 300, 350, something like that, not more than that, right? Even it may be less than that, right? So the maximum deviation will be shown by this company, that is PHEL, right? Because it is 950, right? So no need to go for any sort of paperwork. In 30 to 40 seconds you can answer this question. Just by observing the pie diagram you can answer the question. So that is PHEL, that is 950. Okay. Second one, which of the following are true? So the first statement, loss of PHEL is greater than the sum of the losses of all other companies taken together. Okay, so PHEL 950, it is not greater than all together, because 450, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, we are getting much more than 950, right? Bit more than, not much more than, but bit more than 950. So this statement is wrong. Okay, so after that, this is wrong. If the government plows in approximately 2250 crore, the losses suffered by the given companies can be offset. So first of all, let's find out how much loss is there altogether. So it's 4, 5, 6, 7 and 225, 175, 300. So that's 1250 plus 9. So that's total, it's 2250, right? So total loss is 2250. So that can be offset if government gives 2250, right? So this statement is correct. QSNL contributes to 20% of the losses suffered by above 6 companies. Now the total loss is 2250, right? And what is 20% of 2250? 20% is 225 into 2, that's 450, right? So 20% of 2250 is 450. So QSNL is 450. That means the statement is also true. So second and third is true. Okay, isn't it very simple? One more thing, friends, all the questions which I am taking in these sessions will be from the mock test papers of premium coaching institutes, right? And good number of questions students have also sent as their doubts, right? So this is the collection created by students only. Next is LNGC, a public sector bank, decided to compensate for the loss by increasing the lending rates, then by how much percentage point would it have to increase the lending rate for a total loaned amount of rupees 3000 crore? So the problem is simple. Loss of LNGC is 250 crore, right? And total loan amount is 3000 crore, and it has decided to compensate for the loss by increasing the lending rates, right? So that means it has to compensate the loss of 250, right, out of 3000 crore from the total loan amount of 3000 crore, right? So the percentage that it have to increase is 250 by 3000, right? So 250 by 3000 into 100. So that's very simple. No need to go for any sort of paperwork. 8.33%. Okay. Now in this question, total assets of PHEL are rupees 80,000 crore. If assets of QSNL, LNGC, all these, this respectively of the assets of PHEL, then which company showed maximum loss per crore of asset? Maximum loss per crore of asset, just give an example over here. See, PHEL, the total loss is 950 and the total assets are 80,000 crore. So the loss per crore is 950 by 80,000 crore. Right, so we have to find out the loss per crore of all these four companies. See, among the options, these four companies are there, so we will not be calculating loss per crore for all six companies, right? Because there is none of these, so we'll be taking all these four only to reduce our time. Okay, and we have to find out the company which is showing maximum loss per crore of asset. That means loss by asset, right? That ratio should be maximum for a particular company that we have to find out. Now, in case of QSNL, the total loss is 450 and the asset is 27% of 80,000. Now, everywhere in the denominator 80,000 will be there, obviously, because the assets are a percentage of 80,000, right? So we just remove 80,000 from the denominator. So we just write down 27% of 80,000, so I just write 0.27. Similarly, over here 250 by, that's LNGC, it's 0.21. And this is 175, that's Bharat, that's fourth one, that's 0.12. Right, now we have to make the comparison among these four. 950, 450 by 0.27, 250 by 0.21, 175 by 0.12. Right, obviously 950 will be the smallest. Okay, because by common sense also we can say, like suppose I take the example of QSNL, right? Asset of QSNL is just 27% of PHEL, but loss is around 50% of PHEL, right? So PHEL is automatically cancelled, right? Now we have to make the comparison among these three. So I just take out the decimal from the denominator to make the calculation simple. Now we just try to find out the initial digits of the calculation. Just get a broad idea, right? 12, 1, 5, so that's no need to go for decimals, just calculate the initial digits. 1, 4, that's around 2. In fact, it will be 11 point something, so it's around 2. So it's a 27, 1, then 6. Okay, so initial digits are 1, you can say 1.4, 1.2, 1.6. So maximum is 1.6, that is shown by QSNL. Okay, so I hope you are clear. Using the data provided in the previous question, what change has to be made in the assets of Bharat if its losses per crore of assets is to be made equal to that of QSNL? Okay, QSNL per crore loss is 450 by 27. See, again we just have to make the comparison, right? So don't go for the entire calculation. See, in the both the cases, maybe QSNL and Bharat, the denominator here it is 0.12, here it is 0.7, so we can remove the decimals from the denominator, I mean to say. So the data of Bharat is 175 by 12 and data of QSNL is 450 by 27. Now we have to make this equal to this, right? So we have to obviously this is bigger than this that we have already done in this question. QSNL is showing maximum loss per crore of asset. That means this data is bigger than this data, right? That means it is showing more loss per crore of asset. That means it is showing less loss per crore of asset. Now if it has to show more loss per crore of asset, then certain assets must be reduced. Okay, now how much assets we have to reduce? Just see. Now see, a 175 by 12, this data is it will come over here 7 by 8 of this, right? That means 175 by 12 is 7 by 8 of 50 by 3. Okay, that means if 175 by 12 is reduced by 1 by 8, then it will be equal to 4 for this 50 by 3, right? That means reduced by 1 by 8, that means made 7 by 8, right? So okay, you can match. It's quite easy. So 7 by 8 we have to make, that means 1 by 8 we have to reduce. 1 by 8 is 12.5%. Okay, so assets of Bharat should be reduced by 12.5%. So the loss per crore of assets will be equal in both the cases. Okay. Now we see this question, the set of questions. The following chart shows the distribution of the total number of radio listeners from 5 major cities in India during the period. This number of radio listeners in each city is given as a percentage of total radio listeners in these cities. Okay, the total number of radio listeners in these 5 cities in 1996 was 1.2 million, or I can say 12 lakh. Okay, see the first question. Find out the correct sequence of the given 5 cities in terms of the number of radio listeners in these cities in 1997. 1997, this one is the graph, this one is the bar. Okay, so we have to find out either increasing or decreasing order. So Bangalore is at the first position in all the 4 options. That means we have to find out the decreasing order, because we can see Bangalore is having the maximum percentage of radio listeners, right? So Bangalore is number 1, and last is this, that can be seen easily from the bar. So that's Jaipur, right? So that's these 2 options. All other options are eliminated. Now we can see we just have to check between Goa and Ahmedabad in 1997. Goa and Ahmedabad. This is Goa, this is Ahmedabad. So Ahmedabad is having more radio listeners than Goa, right? And we have decreasing order, so Ahmedabad will come before Goa. So Ahmedabad will come before Goa in this option. So this is the correct one. Okay. See the next one. Now see this question. If India has a total of 2.6 million radio listeners in 1996, what percentage of radio listeners belong to these 5 cities of India in 96? See the total number of radio listeners in from these 5 cities we have already been given, that's 12 lakh, right? So from 2.6 we have 1.2 from these 5 cities. 45 and 46 closer, so just be careful. Thirteen fours are 52, 8, 13 6 are 78, so 46% around. Okay. See the next one. Which of the following are true? Okay. Okay, which of the following are true? The percentage of radio listeners has decreased every year in Goa only. Decreased every year in Goa only. Okay, we see, just observe the graph. Goa definitely decreasing. Yeah, for other cities, sometimes it is increasing, sometimes it is decreasing, right? It's not a straight line graph. Here, increasing, then decreasing, then decreasing. So it's true for Goa. You can see the size of this block is reduced, right? Gradually. So this is correct. The percentage of radio listeners has increased everywhere in Ahmedabad only. Ahmedabad, this one, that is the third one. Okay, this. I'm sorry, Ahmedabad is this one. So this, yeah, size of the block is increasing. So that's also true. Okay, and anywhere else the size is not continuously increasing. Now we have checked up to, and we don't have any other options for 1 and 2, so all of them must be correct, right? Because we don't have any option that says 1 and 2 is correct, that we have all of these, so it is correct. No need to check the third one. Okay, this way you can save your time. So all the 3 questions of this graph is clear, are clear. See this set. Mr. Kumar is a one-day international cricket player. Recently, he played a series of 10 matches where he played an inning every match. Table given above tells about the average runs scored by him in all the matches played in the series till that match. For example, his average run per match after 4 matches are 35 and after 6 matches are 45. Okay, so this is like after 1 match, after 3 match, after 4 match, after 6 match, and after 10 matches. Okay. And after average marks after some matches are not given in the table. Also, it is known that his score per game average after each match was an integer. Okay. Nice set. Let's take the first question. What can be the minimum runs scored by him in 7th match? What can be the minimum runs scored by him in 7th match? Okay. See here in the till 6th match, right? The average runs per match after 4 matches 35, after 6 matches are 45, right? So after 6 matches, the average run per match is 45. So the total runs in 6 matches is 6 into 45. So 6 into 45, 270, right? So the total runs till 6 matches were 270, right? Now, important thing to be considered is his score per game average after each match was an integer, right? So the total of 7 matches, total runs till 7 matches must be divisible by 7, then only you'll be getting the average as an integral value, right? So till 6 matches the total runs are 270, right? So 270, if we divide it by 7, we'll be getting the remainder as 7 3s are 21, 60, right? So it's a 6 remainder. So if it is 273, then it will be divisible by 7, right? So at least 3 run he should score in the 7th match. So the total will be 273, and 273 will be divided by 7 to produce an integral value, right? So very simple conceptual question. Answer is 3. Which of the following could be the runs scored by him in the 10th match? Which of the following could be the runs scored by him in the 10th match? Okay, interesting question. In till 10th match, the total score was 510, right? 51 into 10. So the total number of runs were 510, right? Now, if we deduct, his score per game average after each match was an integer, right? So this is the total of 10 matches, right? So if I deduct the score of 10th match, the remaining number should be multiple of 9, right? So I just have to see from the options, because which of the following could be given, right? So more than one can be the answer, but among the options we have to choose. So if I deduct, see this number is multiple of 3 and this number is multiple of 9. So 3x minus 9x, 3 Multiple of 3 minus multiple of 9 will not produce multiple of 9, right? So this is eliminated, this is eliminated because this is also multiple of 9. And from a multiple of 3, if you deduct non-multiple of 3 or 9, you will not be getting the multiple of 9. So this is also deducted. So 20 eliminated, I mean to say 24 if we deduct, the remaining number will be multiple of 9, right? So this is the only option. Since we have to put up the average as an integral value, so the total of 10 matches is 510. So if we deduct 24, whatever the number we are getting, that will be divisible by 9. So the average of till 9th match will be an integral value. Okay, so interesting question. Now let's see the set of questions, 5 questions in this set. Given below is a statistical record of usage of 4 detergents in terms of number of persons over 4 years in a locality. Okay, Nirma, Rin Supreme, Perf Excel, Metric, 95, 96, 97, 98, and number of persons using these products. Okay, the biggest percentage, the first question let's take, the biggest percentage jump in usage came in. So we just have to find out among the from the 4 options only. So Nirma in 1996, it is the increase of 1000 over 5000, so it's 20%. Metric in 1997, Metric 1997, 2500, so that's 2000 from, so that's 80% increase. Rin Supreme in 1997, so that's from 35 to 45, it will be definitely less than this, no need to calculate. Rin Supreme in 1996, so that's 2500 to 3500, that means 10 by 25, so that's less than 80%. We can say it's just 40%. So Metric in 1997, this is the answer, biggest jump. I hope it's clear to you. The product showing a decline trend in the given 4 years of survey. Decline trend, okay. So just observe it. It is a Nirma 5, 6. It's not showing decline. Rin Supreme not decline. 7, 5, 5, 52, 4. Perf Excel. Right? Simple. The product which increased by the same numbers in absolute terms in the first 3 years is. So that's increase and the same increase. So that's 25, 35, 45. This is Rin Supreme. Very simple question. The detergent that recorded highest sales in 1995 in the given locality. Friends, here we have been given the number of users in these 4 years for these products. We have not been given the prices of the products, right? So we cannot find out the sales, right? So it cannot be determined. No need to calculate. Which of the following are true? Perf Excel was the most used detergent over the given span of 4 years. Perf Excel. Yeah, if you make comparison, it's yes. So that's true. Okay, don't add the numbers, you just have a brief idea. 7, 5, 5. See this and this, both of them are very small. So 7, 5, 5. Everywhere it is bigger, only at this place 800 is less, otherwise, so that can be compensated over here. So Perf Excel is clear. So that's clear. Rin Supreme was the least used detergent over the given span of 4 years. Least. No, I think it should be Metric. 1000 less, 1000 less, 800 more. So Metric should be, so it's incorrect. Okay, first and all of these cannot be the correct option. Now we need to check the third one because the option first only is also there. From the data given, the population of the locality was the highest in the year 1998. This question is bit confusing because the information given over here is the number of persons over 4 years in a locality. That means users of these 4 detergents. That means there is no other user except these 4 detergents, right? No other detergent is being used, right? If it is assumed, then only this question can be calculated. So I find it a bit or I can say data insufficient, because the population of the locality was highest, right? How do we find out the population? Because we have been given the data of the users of these 4 products, right? So if these 4 products are used, then this calculation, the addition of these 4 data will give the total population of this particular locality, right? So in this case, we can make comparison. Yeah, in 1998 it seems to be highest, right? 6, 4, 10, 5, 18. Yeah, in 1998 it is highest, but I would not mark this question. It is ambiguous. Okay.